Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Daily The Hindu News Analysis. My name is Nidhi, and I am here to basically give you the simplified version of the complex current affairs. We all are surrounded by some news items. Something is going on in our world, and on top of it, it seems to be very complex to understand, but I'm here to make it a simplified for you. So today the topic which I really want to talk about, I basically want to talk about two topics. The number one topic is about the brain drain in the legal profession. Recently, the Chief Justice of India basically highlights a major problem which is happening in the legal profession, which is about brain drain. Now, what is brain drain? When we heard about brain drain, we heard it about with reference to the science and tech field, right? When our young brightest mind who have graduated from elite institutions of India, they left India after their graduation and or post graduation, and they work and they prefer to work in the foreign country. Basically they get acquired, they get education in India, and they're using it in the that education in the foreign land. It is called known as brain drain, right? Now it happens due to many reasons, right? Less base less pay less opportunities, and many more areas. But this thing is also happening in our legal profession nowadays. So what is happening in the legal professions is that many young budding lawyers who are there, they are basically leaving the law professions and moving on to another professions like in businesses, teaching, entrepreneurship, civil services. Basically they have the education, they get the degree in the law field, but they are not using that. Rather, they are doing something else. Now, what is the possible reasons for this? Now, the number one reason is that there is no adequate salary for young lawyers. So being a first generation lawyer in India, we all know that it is extremely hard to basically build a life of your own, to build a career in build a successful career in law is basically very extremely difficult. It is extremely hard. Why it is hard? Number one reason is that as a as a first generation lawyer, you do not have the networks, you do not have the contacts for this, and that is why you don't. That is why you lack. That is why you cannot get good cases, and your salary is in peanuts in the initial years of your careers. You have spent 3 to 5 or maybe 10 lakhs to study law, and you are getting salary about 25,000, 20,000 in a month, and you're working extremely hard on that case. Number one reason is that. Moreover, you have slower growth. Basically, when you are in the litigation field, the growth rate is very slow here. This is the reason. You have less recognition, and also due to all of these factors, many young lawyers, budding lawyers, they are preferring to leave law, and what they really want, where they really want to go do into other areas where they get good salary, they have growth, their potential is properly utilized. They want to go in that area. Now it is very harmful for in the legal profession. See, legal profession is the most pious profession in India. Basically, it gives the justice to those people who are those who faces some kind of injustice, right? And lawyer is the person who represents it. If we do not have a good lawyers, honest lawyers, skilled lawyers who have young minds, then we cannot get. Then people who are suffering from injustice, they cannot get a proper justice, and it is basically harmful and deteriorating democracy in our country. This is the main reason. So what is the consequences now? If such things happening, that many people are moving away from the legal profession, now basically it basically builds a trust deficit between the citizens and our judiciary. See, judiciary is an independent body, right? And it has entrusted with the duty to oversee the work functions of the legislative as well as the executive. It works with the principle of the constitution, that what is written in the constitution, it works with in that field only. And whenever so, any person faces any kind of an injustice in their life, be it due to the domestic violence, due to farming issues, demolition case, or many other, we always look at the court to get justice. If such thing is happening, then it basically creates a trust deficit. It gives a psychological uh, message to the citizens of a country that it is very difficult to get justice in our country, and it does discourage them to go to the court to ask for their rights, and it encourage criminals to basically do more crimes, because there are no lawyers, good lawyers are present in our system who represent them, who fight for them. Victims are being affected, and it also discourages young minds of the country to pursue law. So basically it is harmful for our judiciary system, and it basically weakens the relationship between judiciary and citizens. What are the alternatives? Now in such scenario, the number one suggestion which I would like to pursue is that, just like we have public intensive linkages for the MSME sectors, we can have same incentives for the young budding lawyers. We can provide money, we can provide good amount of good incentives to the lawyers, budding lawyers who want to pursue their careers, who want to make their own chambers, help them financially. Government should help them in that cases. Government should exempt some kind of, government should basically give them, government should help them by giving more job opportunities to the young budding lawyers. Also, if I'm the head of the Bar Council of India, then I would order all the law schools of the country to basically do more collaborations with the private sector and the government sector to help the young budding lawyers to get placed in companies, in law firms, so that they can get experience, they can get salary, they can get exposure. Because ultimately law is a field where your experience, your skills matter, and skills develop over time. And for that, along with it, we can give them some kind of incentive, right? Like we give incentive in to people who are pursuing their PhD. We can give incentives to the first generation lawyers, that they can continue practice, and government will provide them the incentive for that. In this way, we can create a culture, a safe harbor culture for our young budding lawyers, and in this way we can also help them to honing their skills, to sharpening their skills, which they can use to help any poor farmer, to help any helpless lady to get justice, and basically make this country rule of law, actual rule of law. This is the thing. Now, second topic which I would really want to talk about is that recently India has slammed Pakistan at the United Nations by calling it the Frankenstein state. Now we all know that India and the Pakistan, they do not share a very cordial relationship. We have many problems there are many issues between India and the Pakistan. Now the number one issue, which is states that Pakistan basically host and gives training to personals which basically attacks India, POK, and and Jammu and Kashmir region, and brings instabilities in the sensitive areas of India. This is the number one problem, and that is why India has accused Islamabad of hosting, training, and deploying terrorists. These remarks were made by Anupam Singh, first secretary at India's permanent mission to the United Nations. After Pak, this is the reason. So, what we should do, this is the problem that Pakistan is creating. So what we should do, so we should make our defense forces, defense personals more stronger. They are already stronger, but we have to make them more stronger, and we have to bring some peace and stability. We have to use this peace and stability. The we have to use the young minds and the budding minds of these sensitive areas like Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, to basically give them employment, so that these people they do not get indulged in the terrorist activities, and help them to grow in their life. Because when they grow in their life, when they are busy, they do not have the time to basically look after any terrorist activities. When they have money in their hand, when government provides them money, when government supports them to have the money, they do not look after these terrorists who provides them money to their family. And in this way we can break this connection, because we are seeing that that lot of people are helping from India. They are helping these terrorists. They are brainwashed by people are brainwashed them, and they are helping these terrorists to basically do terror attacks in India. In this way, we can make a stable country. Now, a third news headline is basically about that recently a 5-year-old boy got died after hitting through a truck. A 5-year-old boy, and this case, when reached to Supreme Court on Friday, gave a fundamental right. It expanded the Article 21 of the Indian Constitution, that the right to walking freely on the road is a fundamental right. Imagine a boy was walking freely on a pedestrian path, and suddenly a truck hits that boy, 5-year-old boy, and he lost his life. Who is responsible in this case? So who is responsible? So it is very, very important that 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 all the drivers who are there, they should drive the car carefully. If they are not driving carefully, they are doing rash driving or drunken driving, it leads to death of many persons. And government also there are some infrastructure works that needs to be done in our country, that we have to properly demarcate between the roads which are there for the vehicles, and the pedestrian path which are there for the humans. That there must be proper demarcation between them. They must be properly furnished and also fenced. Also, they must be properly fenced, so that proper demarcation would be there. And also, it is the responsibility of the driver to basically not to enter in the pedestrian path. This is the thing, and we have given a new right, that is the right to walking free. Now that's it for today's news headline. I would like to end this news by today's quote. Our today's quote is by Mahabharata, in which Lord Krishna has said that a person who has achieved his mind, who has mastered his mind, he mastered his life. So it's a very common phenomenon, that the person who mastered his mind, he mastered his life. Because mind is the thing which helps you to do things. Mind helps you to stay motivated, to help you in the discipline, to keep you in the disciplined manner. So in this case, you have to master your mind. And how do you master your mind? This is the most important question. So you can master your mind by mastering your emotions. When you master your emotions, you master your mind. When you master your mind, you master your life. And how do you master your emotion? Now, number one thing that many psychologists and neuroscientists they say is that you can master your emotions by taking pause in their life before reacting or before saying anything. You must be you must take pause in your life. When you take a pause, you give a time to yourself to react or to respond, and when you do that, you master your emotion. When you master your emotion, you master your life. When you master your mind, you master your life. This is the whole scenario, and that's it for today. We'll meet tomorrow with a yet another with a new news headline and news thing. Till then, stay safe, stay happy. Bye bye.